Hey everyone, welcome back to Full Count Podcast. Today we're going to talk about demographics and housing and how things have changed over the last couple decades and why a lot of people are upset. Young people are pissed. Nick is one of them. So let's go, Nick.
Thanks, Andrew.
So there's this graph that we're going to put on the video right now. But Nick, can you read off what exactly we're looking at here? Because this is pretty demoralizing for a lot of young people, myself included, because I have clients that can't afford homes and a bunch of people in this country are upset for obvious reasons, and some go to different lengths of extremism on how to solve this essentially. So if you can
hmm
mention it.
Yeah, so they did a study, and the study was between 1950 and today, so 2025. And what they found was that only 12% of 30-year-olds are both married and own a home. Um, they stated that marriage, family, and home ownership are the ultimate trifecta of security, or at least that's what we have been taught and told, right? Of security and happiness. And it has rapidly declined since 1950. So basically, in 1950, the percentage of 30-year-olds that were both married and homeowners was just a little over 50%. So I think it was like 53%. Whereas today, it's less than 15%. So it's exactly 12% that they found, which is a huge difference, right? But I mean, you have to take into account two things, right? They're looking at two factors. So, one, that they're 30 years old and they're married, and then they're 30 years old and own a home as well, right? So, I think the first factor you probably have to look at is okay, I mean, just our generation in general, right, has not really been uh, the fastest to get married, right? I mean, if you look at our parents, our grandparents, I mean, they were married by like sometimes even 20, right? Um, whereas, I mean, our generation, it's completely, acceptable and normal to get married and, well into your 40s, right? Sometimes even later. So, I mean, I think that's a big factor in the decline. But then you have to look at, okay, the percentage of 30-year-olds who own a home, right? So if you look at that separate from the marriage aspect, right? I mean, there's so many people of our generation that are not necessarily homeowners, right? That live in the home, but they might have other type of properties. But the point is that I don't know if this study took that into account or not, right? So, like for example, I own an investment property, but I don't necessarily own a house that I live in as a permanent resident, right? So I don't know the details of that. We would have to, take a look at that, and we can provide some details.
Maybe on the link we can provide it and see. But
Yeah, exactly. But even regardless, right? I
mhm.
mean, just the amount of, even if let's just assume that it's 30-year-olds who actually own a home that is their primary residence that they live in, right? I mean, I
I think
think that
that's what it
has,
really is.
yeah, I think that has declined in and of itself, right? Separate from the marriage piece, just because of inflation, salaries not keeping up, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a number of other ways to make money nowadays, right? And a substantial amount of money. But we were also fed, the millennial generation that, oh, go to school, get a good
Yeah.
job, stay
Get a
there,
degree.
you'll be taken care of, everything will work out, and that was a story that did not come to fruition and is a completely different world now. So, and then you combine those two factors. So you have the marriage piece, you have the home ownership piece with the inflation and everything else. Combine those two. I mean, I think it's not surprising that you see that very steep decline.
Yeah, people are pissed. I mean, our generation went through 9/11, the
Mm-hmm.
Afghanistan Iraq War, and
Yeah.
then we went through the Great
Y2K.
Recession. Oh, Y2K. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was a blimp, though. I mean, but either
That
way, it was
was,
still
yeah, but it was
yeah,
still, I think it affected a number of things, especially things that were related to technology, the internet, etc.
right, right. And
Yeah.
then we also have what else happened? COVID,
Yes.
right?
hmm
Inflation after the fact, and yeah, people are upset. I understand, and I think you said in the 1950s it was only like 50, like mid 50% of people owned a home,
Yeah, it
and
was like 53 or something.
that's a little strange because I thought
That
more people
were,
would have owned
yeah,
a home
30
and been
years
married.
or older. that were
Yeah.
married and owned a home.
Well, you know what? In the 40s, there was a lot of people in World War II. You know, a lot of men in this country were not even here. So maybe that came to play of why that percentage wasn't higher potentially.
Right.
Who
Right.
knows? But I
But I think
do recall from
it was a
history.
lot more reasonable to be married at that age. It was a lot more reasonable to be married and own a house at that age, right?
Mhm.
It's a lot more affordable to do that than
Right,
today.
but what I was gonna say, I think based on history, I might be wrong, but in the '60s, there was the home building generation boom that built all these
Mm,
homes for these veterans to own a home. So I imagine maybe in the '60s, '70s, we saw that percentage go up. But
mhm.
regardless of all that, now that we're at 12% is horrible. Like
Yeah.
you were saying earlier. I mean, homes are just so expensive. I think, like you were saying, too, people's salary
Yeah.
is like very low. It's not really growing. We're sending most of the jobs overseas, and it's been doing so since like NAFTA and earlier, and
Right.
since then. And then I think the culture is bad too about marriage. There was a
Mhm.
time where I think when we were younger and people were not for marriage, and there was a movement of multiple avenues that didn't encourage
Yeah.
it, and I think that's the problem. And now we have OnlyFans, then people go to that, they gravitate to that, women and men, and they
Yeah.
don't find a way to link up and start dating the right way, or all these dating apps make it very hard too, I think.
Very, very definitely. I mean, and then you have all these other, you know, eh, all these other not ideologies,
It
pronouns,
is.
and you
Yeah.
know,
Oh, the yeah. I mean,
people go in
what's
different ways.
Yeah, what's crazy though is it's not in the US only. This is happening in Japan. This is happening
Yeah.
in Europe. It's ongoing, like it's like how they use the term epidemic. It's like in its own region, but this is
Right.
like I guess, like, I don't know. It's not called a pandemic, but there's an issue going on across
Yeah.
the world where people are not having enough kids. I think in order for population to keep going the way it is, it's got to be like a ratio of like 2 point something of birth rates per like couple. Right now in
Hmm.
the US, it's under two. It's like close to one. So that's pretty
Right.
bad. And as time goes by, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate, but I mean, I think the world does have a pretty large population too,
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think in 40 years in the US, I think it's going to look a lot uh, less congested in a lot of the areas. And
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
problem. It's going to hurt real estate prices and rental prices for
Yeah, that's
those
true.
that own. Um, there's a reason, Nick, in my opinion. I mean, I don't have the data to
Hmm.
support it right now because I didn't expect to talk about this particularly, but there's a reason why there's all this immigration going on. They're bringing in all these people to build up our population growth because there's not enough Americans having enough children. And like I said, it's
Yeah.
happening
Yeah.
everywhere. So what happens when population goes down? I mean, how
Yeah.
is it's like kicking the can down the road with people that are retiring, right? Like our parents
Right.
and the generation before them, they're expecting us to pay their bills. And what's going to happen when we're old men? We're going to hope and expect the young people to pay our bills. But when there's less young people than there are us old people, we're screwed.
Hmm.
And that's the scary part.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to at least social programs, right? Like Social Security, things like that. I mean,
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't expect there to be Social Security like when we retire, can't rely on that. But I mean, I hope, but I doubt it, you know?
So how's the audience going to survive? Like what are your tips, or what are your ideas? Not tips, but maybe what are your ideas on how to prevent yourself from being poor when you're an old person? If Social Security doesn't exist, I mean, that's not good because a lot of old people rely on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure you have many tips too. But I mean, just creating multiple streams of income that are passive, right?
All right.
So whether it's a business, and I mean, there's a lot of, speaking of businesses, just to touch on this real quick, there's a lot of, you were talking about the older generation, right? And a lot of them are retiring now and giving up businesses like nail salons, laundromats, car washes, things like that,
Mm-hmm.
like brick and mortar
Yeah.
type of smaller businesses.
Right.
And those are very, very abundant right now. And I mean, you basically get a business loan, purchase a couple of those, and those are basically self-running, right? So just one
Is
little
there an area
thought.
to go to? Is there an area to go to find these self-run businesses per se, like laundromats and everything else you just said? Like, is there a place to go online that the audience can go to? Because I'm not really sure. There's a woman YouTuber that talks about it, but
Yeah.
I don't think she ever gives a nugget of like where to find them specifically.
Yeah, so there's I know Cody Sanchez talks about it quite a bit.
Cody
Um
Sanchez. Okay.
if you Google Cody Sanchez, I think her website
Oh,
comes
that's
up.
her. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that you could purchase actually small businesses, startups. You could like list your startup on there too, and I think there's a lot of brick and mortar businesses up there too. But I mean, Craigslist, you know,
You
just
got to be
kind of
careful
going
with Craigslist
around,
though. A lot
your
of
city
fraud.
or your neighborhood. As far as other type of websites, I don't really know any others other than
Hmm.
Cody Sanchez's, but I'm sure there are, and we can take a look, maybe put in the show notes.
Yeah, there's also business brokers I've spoken to in the past where I have clients that
Yes.
are selling like their laundromat or whatever, and
Yeah.
you get connect with a business broker of some sort. Um,
Exactly.
but yeah, that's
Exactly.
a good avenue, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
to
But
survive.
yeah, and I mean that's not to go off on that tangent, but I mean some of the other things is, as I'm sure and many of the people listening know, rental properties, right? Having a number
Real
of
estate.
those, whether they're
Yeah.
Airbnb, long-term rentals, to create that. I mean, you're building the wealth, but you're also building the passive income, right? Um,
But it
so
all
there's
comes back to it all comes sorry to interrupt you, but it all comes
yeah,
back to buying and owning and relying on that rental income where population growth is happening or where you
yeah,
suspect it's going to continue and where laws are a little bit friendly sometimes to landlord or at least
right,
counties, right?
right.
Hmm.
Yep, exactly, exactly. So, but yeah, those are just some come to mind. I did want to ask you though. I think this would be an interesting thing to talk about. Is how many of your clients have you seen that are 30 years and older who are married that are buying houses? Yeah, pretty large percentage, or not as much? Do you think it reflects the statistic?
Yeah. So the statistic I don't recall off the top of my head, but I think there was a time when the statistic was like average first time home buyer was like 26 or
Yeah,
28. Then it became
yeah.
32. Then recently it was 38. I think now it's like 42, I believe.
Hmm.
And I see that because when I talk to other realtors that used to be my age in early 30s, or
Hmm.
even realtors that are in late 20s, these older agents would say, "Oh, in my era, I had so many people my age buying real estate, so I had a bunch of clients my age, and they were all buying real estate." Most of the people I help in real estate are people over 50 that are
Mm,
buying and selling. I feel maybe
mm,
even late mid 40s. I don't
mm.
really see too many people in their 30s or late 20s buying real estate.
Okay,
And the ones that do, it's a small percentage, maybe 25% of all my clients,
okay.
maybe 20. But they have great paying jobs, and I mean like
Mm,
fantastic paying jobs. Like they're either married or they're a couple that hasn't been married yet or whatever.
mhm,
But they're
mhm.
each making at least 150 to 200 grand each. So the household's like 400 grand or close to it or more. It depends.
Oh, okay.
And they're buying like under 2.5 million depending on how much down payment they have.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
but I do see about half of those people that are buying real estate are getting, not all of them obviously, so about half of them, 50% of them at least, are getting gifted money from their family to buy real estate.
mm. Interesting.
So
Okay.
a lot of it's not coming from their own pocket completely. They're getting help. And I think that's the only way,
Wow.
unfortunately, people are able to survive to afford a
Yeah.
property is that down payment money.
Yeah. I mean, especially there in Southern California.
Yeah, and I'm speaking only for
Yeah.
Southern California purposes. But when I bought
Yeah.
my first property, 401k, some of the 401k was utilized and then it was paid
Right.
back. And then the second property I bought for my single family home, it had nothing to do with the retirement account. It was all cash, savings.
Right.
But
Right.
we were able to roll over the gains for, not roll over literally, but like we were able to use that gains of profit to
Yeah. Yeah.
buy the other
To
property.
buy the other.
But it's tough, man. I see a lot of people having issues and it's a hard time for people to buy real estate our age or younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It is. I mean, Well, I mean, the interest rates have been going down a little bit, no?
Hmm.
So
They're at
that's
the
a
all-time
positive.
low right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, all-time low within the last
For
12 months, which is
yeah,
not
12
saying a
months.
lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not
It's like
yeah. It's still
6.5
pretty
right
high.
now.
Yeah.
It's still high. But it
Yeah.
might go down in September and December, depending on what the
Right.
Federal Reserve does. So,
Yeah.
excuse the interruption, but I have to make a plug for my listings that are for sale right now. And there's two of them, one in Orange County and one in Los Angeles County. So, let's start off with the one in Orange County, which happens to be in northern Orange County in Fullerton. And it's a 3-bed, 2-bath for the main house, and detached is a guest house, which is a 2-bed, 1-bath, has a living room, kitchen, and everything. So it's like a great investment for someone that's looking to live in one building and then rent out the other, or rent out both. I don't know. All depends on what you're looking to do. But let's take a look at it. So this is 720 Mayerton Lane, Fullerton, California, 92831. So the next property I have for sale is in Los Angeles County, in Santa Monica, beautiful Santa Monica, the beach city, which everyone loves. It's only about 14 blocks, a little bit more than 14 blocks away from the beach, but either way, you can get there really easily. A lot of people like to take the bikes. So this is 1228 14th Street, Unit 201 in Santa Monica, California. And this one is 1625 square feet, so it's very spacious. So let's take a quick look at it. And laundry is in the unit. Okay, so this one's asking 1,448,000, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,625 square feet, 2-car garage, and it's tandem parking. But let's take a quick look. Now, moving on to the next topic that's kind of daunting. Matt Rife, a comedian, he's a real estate investor, but
Mm-hmm.
he has a very unorthodox way of doing things because he bought the Annabelle house, which is supposedly
Mm-hmm.
haunted. So we can pull that up and take a look at what that is in a moment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's called the Crucible House, and it has
Yes,
the Annabelle doll and a whole bunch of
Crucible.
other supposedly haunted uh, items and artifacts. So he bought in, and they're gonna make it basically a tourist attraction.
That's smart. So you can get
Yeah.
that. What were you saying? That residual income. So besides
Yeah.
his comedy,
Exactly. Great investment.
I don't know. I'm thinking, is it a great? I mean, it is a great investment with the theory of
Right.
the fact that people are going to go visit. Do you
Right.
know how he's going to make money? By the way, in terms of these visitations, like people could sleep
I
there, or is it
don't.
just to go visit museum?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, his business model, but
But like, what if someone ends up dying on the property, or they like get haunted and die from it? I mean, that's like a liability, I would think. But that's if you believe in that, right?
I'm sure there's some kind of insurance that would cover that.
There must be like some type of
Or
release of liability.
liability.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Have
All right.
somebody
Let me
sign a
pull this up
liability
here.
form.
Right.
Yeah. And then just to mention, so that statistic that we were just talking about, real quick, I just want to give credit to my girlfriend because she's the one that sent me that. So,
Oh, cool. We still need to have her on to talk about what I'm wearing here. Can you see this? I'm sure
yeah,
people. Pope
yeah, the Leo
Leo the
jersey.
14. I'm wearing his
Yep.
jersey, and this is
Yeah, I gotta
the
get me
right
one.
here symbol. Yeah.
Hmm.
And back in the back it says Pope and number 14. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. We got to get her on then and talk about that.
Yeah,
Let me share the screen here. Okay, so
from Psychic.
aggressive energy. Comedian Matt Rife may have landed himself into supernatural trouble after acquiring what is believed to be the world's most haunted doll, Annabelle.
Mm.
Paranormal community. So the news came after the death of Dan Rivera, who passed away while on the U.S. tour with the doll. However, no foul play was detected in his death, and he died of natural causes. So he had the doll on him, and this person who I
Oh,
guess owned it before died.
the doll definitely killed him.
Psychic medium has now issued a chilling warning as he told the Daily Mail that Rice's move could unleash dark, aggressive energy. I mean, I don't think comedians take a lot of things seriously. So,
No.
considering there is dark energy, there's some issues could go down with Matt Rife owning this haunted doll.
Yeah. Would you purchase a house like that?
Hell no, dude. I mean, I believe that there's evil spirits out there to some
Yeah,
degree, and
I
I
agree.
would
I
not
wouldn't
be
mess with
playing with
that.
this. Yeah.
No,
But where
no,
where exactly is it the Conjuring house? I think it's just the doll he bought, right? Or it is the real
no.
estate too.
It's a real estate house. Yeah, has a number of other basically haunted. artifacts and dolls and trinkets.
I was joking on Instagram that the Yankees have been doing so bad because of this. I mean, Matt Rife really screwed us
Oh,
by wearing the Yankee hat while he's with the Annabelle doll.
yeah.
Um,
No, let's
Not
hope that he
cool.
doesn't curse the Yankees. That
Okay, so yeah, it is the property, the iconic property that Matt Rife bought, which
okay,
includes the doll.
right.
So it
Sorry,
was the
it's a
Occult
Conjuring
Museum,
house.
the Conjuring House, yes,
Yes.
and situated in the basement of the Monroe, Connecticut house, the museum includes a 750-piece collection of haunted artifacts and items. So he's not just buying the Annabelle doll; he's buying other stuff too. And I
Yeah.
think if you saw the movie The Conjuring, it shows the basement that the two characters go to, and they see all the evil artifacts, right, that are possessed or
Mm.
whatever. Um,
Yeah, no, I've never seen that movie. I'm not a big fan of horror movies, but
I like horror movies.
really,
Um,
yeah,
I
no,
do. I didn't know you didn't like scary movies.
no, not at all.
Why not?
If I watch a movie, I want something, like feel good movie or something interesting.
I see.
I don't know. I find horror movies, then they just make me feel crappy
Okay.
after. So
So with the Conjuring house, like Matt Rife, would you have bought something like that though? Realistically, let's say you see the cash flow. Like we don't know how much that museum gets every year,
yeah,
but say the cash flow is really good and
right,
it makes sense. The cap rate, as we call it, capitalization rate. If that happens
right.
to be high and you feel like it's going to profit a lot, do you think you would do something like Matt Rife?
Ooh, that's a hard question because I mean, superstition and religious beliefs aside, then obviously, it's a good investment. It's a good investment. But factoring in superstitions and religion, that's I don't know because what you do with that money or where that money goes might just cause trouble, cause you too
Right.
much trouble for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
I don't
I
know.
I
Would
don't think
you?
I would.
No,
If the cash flow's good, the opportunity makes sense. In my case, I wouldn't buy it. I
right?
am surprised Matt Rife bought it, considering he's makes
Yeah,
a lot of money already. But what did this do? This put him on the headlines. Not that he never, hits the headlines because he always does. And I think
yeah,
he owns
exactly.
property too, like quite a bit of real estate. But I
Right.
find it kind of weird that he bought it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It's an odd purchase. It is,
Yeah,
but maybe he's into all of that.
maybe
Maybe he
he's
likes
into
horror movies.
paranormal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Exactly.
Would you buy a house where someone has passed away in it though, like of natural causes?
Ideally, no, no, I
No.
wouldn't.
Okay,
Yeah,
well
I mean, because I definitely I do believe in that, and I
you
mean,
do
yeah, yeah. I mean,
like
I've been
spirits.
just with like grandparents, great grandparents. I mean, I've been in the houses like after they passed, and I don't know. You see some weird stuff.
Really? Tell us.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit or
Well, I mean, with my great grandmother. So I mean, I was very young. I mean, I was like 8 years old, right? But I mean, I still remember this, and she passed away. Actually, on Christmas morning, one morning,
oh, that
and
sucks.
this was like a year before. And then I don't know. It was like a yeah, apartment like house in New York in Brooklyn,
Right.
and she lived on the first floor. We lived on the second floor, and my great aunt lived on the third floor. And after she passed, we would just like me, my brother, and my dad would go downstairs to the apartment, do whatever he had to do, and or in go down to the basement, and we would definitely see like a green bluish mist sometimes, just like
Really?
that would just like float by. Yeah, it was really freaky. Kind of gives me the chills even now.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow. So you think it was your great grandma potentially?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And
But
that's
nothing
just, I don't
like
know,
nothing
freaky.
like terrifying that the spirit would do.
No, but it would just be, you would get like hardcore chills like to your
Yeah.
bones.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay,
Freaks
so
me out
even if
even
a
today.
natural death takes place, you're not buying the property.
No, not if I know. No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because by law, you have to be told within 3 years if it happened, but you would never know if it's been longer. And I'm
Right.
speaking for
Exactly.
California
Yeah.
terms.
Yeah.
Um, Wow. Okay. I was about
And
to
then
ask you, what about?
especially now if somebody got murdered in
I was about to
it.
ask you that. What if someone got
No,
murdered? Would you?
definitely not.
Yeah.
Not touching
I would.
that.
I would be okay with purchasing a home if someone passed away in it of natural causes, but not
Yeah.
if there's a murder. No, hell
Yeah,
no.
no,
Yeah, forget
definitely not.
that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think there's some type of weird energy locked up in a place.
Oh,
Same thing
yeah,
with like
without a doubt.
cemeteries or like tribal places, in the
Yeah.
country, where there
Mm-mm.
were slaughters. Yeah, no.
Were there slaughters? That turned really quick.
Yeah, no, like when the U.S. was becoming the U.S., things like that.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so no, I wouldn't. Yeah, forget that.
Yeah.
Interesting, but there's people. I mean, I will tell you, I have clients that don't care. I've had clients tell
Oh,
me if
yeah.
someone passed away in the home, I don't care, I'll buy it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a lot of
Murder,
people out
I had
there.
one client tell me if there was a murder, I'd still buy it if it's a good deal. So I was like,
No, you got to
okay.
organize straight, based on numbers.
Yeah, but you got to think of it too, like especially in the East Coast, homes are built from the early 1900s or even
Yeah,
late
right,
1800s.
right.
Regardless of what you're told by the realtor, because they're only supposed to tell you the last 3 years, more than likely someone died there in the last
Yeah,
hundred and some
exactly.
years.
Yeah.
I
Especially
mean,
if
you're
you're
just not
buying
going
in
to
like
know.
the Northeast or something like that,
Right,
major city. Yeah,
right.
more likely for sure. But
And that's
places,
why go ahead.
I mean, places like Florida where there's a lot of new builds, that kind of stuff, it's less likely, or Texas,
Oh,
whatever,
yeah, no, yeah, for
you know.
sure. But
Yeah.
that's why certain people have their own like religious beliefs where they'll like, for example, with the Catholics, like myself and yourself, you'll have a priest
Hmm.
go to the house, they'll bless the house,
Bless it.
and
Exactly.
it could
Get rid
help.
of everything. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly. Put the inscriptions on the door, above the door. You
I
ever
haven't
do
heard of
that?
that. What is that? What do you mean?
Yeah, that's oh my
Catholics do
goodness, the
that?
name. The name is slipping my mind. But
Okay,
it's basically you do it you're supposed to do once a year. It's supposed to protect like
I've
the
never heard of
entrance to the
that.
house. Yeah. You do
Is
it with
that
the
an
holy
Italian
chalk.
thing?
Yeah.
Is that an Italian thing though?
No, it's a Catholic thing.
Oh, I never heard of that. I gotta ask some of
Yeah.
my priest friends,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ones I met
You're
in
supposed to,
Rome.
I think, do it at like a certain time of year. I don't remember if it's like during Lent. I don't know. I'm butchering it. Because
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
Well,
But
this
it's
jersey
basically
came
the
in
chalk that's
clutch.
blessed by the yeah.
We talking
It's
about it.
yeah, exactly. Gotta call up Leo.
Yeah,
Yo,
I think
Leo.
I think in a couple episodes you got to be rocking this with me. We'll wear it at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. I
We'll look
gotta
like we're
order
on a
it.
team together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
this
looks like
was a
it's good
good.
quality.
Yeah, it looks pretty good on camera.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a good episode. Those who are watching and listening, I hope you comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Let us know. Would you buy a property that's haunted, like what Matt Rife did? Would you buy something like
Mm-hmm.
that? You're willing to do it if it has good cash flow. Like some people are willing to do it. I don't know. And
Right.
how do you feel about the economy in general in terms of maybe you're listening and you're pissed off right now that you can't afford a house because of obvious reasons. Let us know what you
Mm-hmm.
think and why you're upset. I mean, I guess the why's obvious, but why you think it happened, right? So
Exactly.
yeah,
All
cool.
right.
All right,
Till
man.
next time.
Talk to you later.